Hey everybody, this is your girl Cordnie Ellese. Welcome to my channel on entrepreneurship and mommyhood. And today we're going to be talking about the things that I wish I knew before becoming an entrepreneur again. So, in case you all didn't know, I am an entrepreneur currently. I work full-time as a photographer and a makeup artist. No, I'm not getting any money from YouTube as of yet or from social media or anything like that. I am starting another new business, which I'm not going to talk about anytime soon, but I am recording the process. So I may actually release that at some point, but you know, I'm sensitive about my But anyway, and so these things are the things that I've learned in my journey to becoming an entrepreneur. I was an entrepreneur previously, but then I decided to go back into the regular 9-to-5 work field because I wasn't being a true entrepreneur. I wasn't taking my job seriously. I had way too many side gigs. I was doing too much at one time. I wasn't treating it like a business. I really didn't ever allow myself to get to the point to where I was genuinely profiting, because I would use the money and then come back, and I was really treating everything like a hobby. So now that I'm actually treating my business like a business and not like a hobby or a side gig or, you know, just something that I really don't care about, these are the things that I have learned. The very first thing is, unfortunately, you'll get little to no support, especially if you're starting all over again and you've done this before. You will get little to no support. And actually, that just goes across the board. A lot of times when people are very new and doing something, they still unfortunately get little to no support. Your friends, your family, your spouse, your kids, your church members, whoever it is, because they don't know your brand to trust it yet, unfortunately, they just can't really get behind you. They'll say, oh, congratulations, and da-da-da, and then they'll ask you to do something for free, or they'll tell you, oh, make sure you have your backup plan, and you know, you'll just get all of these different things where you'll really feel as though people don't believe in you, and that's because they don't. So you have to give them a reason to. You have to really be about your grind, be about your business, and work your business 80 hours a day. Period. If Beyonce has them, you do. Tip 2, don't let your friends and family be late when you're working for them. So, for instance, I'm a photographer, as I just stated, and I recently had a friend who wanted me to do a shoot. And this friend was about 2 hours late, and unfortunately, I had to make that friend reschedule twice, because that friend kept being 2 hours late. And I think sometimes people believe that since you're in the starting stages that you don't have other things that you have to do, whether it be with business or family or whatever. So if people are more than 15 minutes late, whether I know them or whether I don't, you know, I genuinely just ask them to reschedule. And sometimes I even charge them a fee if they're a certain, you know, amount of time later, if they have to reschedule, because that time is valuable, and they are paying me for the time that I'm in the shoot and for the time that I'm editing. So you want to make sure that you teach them to respect your business, and one of the easiest ways to teach them to respect your business is to make them respect your time. 3, you need to take social media seriously, okay? And that means, that's a very, very loaded tip. Before I became an entrepreneur, I really hated social media, and now I've really learned to love what social media can do for your business. I really didn't like putting all of my business out there to people that I didn't know, but I never really minded doing that with people that I did. But unfortunately, I didn't really understand the impact that social media could have on you. I didn't know that you could really reach a lot of people that you didn't know. So it doesn't have to be about your personal life. It doesn't have to. You can include things about your personal life, but more so you want to make sure that people know that you're working, that you're doing things, and that you're being productive. So with me saying that, you need to make sure that you post as many places as possible. At the beginning, you need to start off with just 1 or 2 places and really go hard on those places. Learn those platforms. So for me, I chose Facebook and Instagram, and I'm going really, really hard on those platforms. Now that I've kind of learned how I wanted to handle Facebook and Instagram, now moving into YouTube, and then eventually I'm going to move into Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, so on and so forth. If you can hire a social media team, or even just an assistant who can help you part-time or full-time with managing your engagement and running ads and things like that, you definitely do want to do that, because those algorithms, they will work in your favor. The more that you're engaging, the more that you're posting, the more tools that you use on those sites. So figure out how those sites work. Get as much support as you possibly can to make your life easier if that's not your strong suit. And then you'll actually be able to reach a much broader audience. And on top of that, running an ad on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube is nothing like running an ad on TV, because it's so much cheaper and you can really target your audience versus just kind of blindly throwing something out there at a specific time with a TV ad. Tip 4 is you need to make networking a part of your job. So before I became an entrepreneur, I have always been socially awkward. I'm still socially awkward as an entrepreneur, but now I have learned how to actually talk to people, at least about my business and their business, and what I can do to help their business and what they can do, to be a part of my world and things of that nature. And so it's really taught me how to be more conversational. I am still a work in progress. I am still socially awkward. I do like talking to people, but I'm the kind of person who is very quirky and weird, and I just tend to say the wrong things. But because this is about my business, the way I approach it is so much different than if I were talking about myself, or just being personal and not just professional. So if you have that issue as well, just let me know in the comments below. We see each other. We can help each other out, and just be each other's comfort system, each other's pillow. But you do need to make networking a part of your job. The main reason you want to do that is because even if that person doesn't end up using your business, they have your information. You can reach back to them, and you might be able to tap into their network as well. And it's not a matter of saying, oh, I don't want to use people, da da da. No, you do. You want to use them, and you want them to use you. You want to support each other's businesses, and you want to be okay with talking about your business, because if you can't talk about your business, why should other people talk to other people about your business, right? So you need to put yourself in the position to where you can go to different networking events now that it's COVID-19, where you can go to different virtual networking events where you're okay with sending people messages and sending people comments on their statuses, not necessarily selling to them, but just letting them know that you exist. Hey, I'm a photographer, I saw your page is amazing. Or hey, I do this and I saw your business page and I would love to, have more conversations with you about your business. It's amazing. Or just keep in contact with people. Eventually, if you keep in contact with people, especially on social, they'll see what you're doing. So you don't even have to tell them about what you're doing. They'll see, let it speak for itself. Especially since you took my tip about being serious about social media. The next tip that I have is employees are going to use you to level up. And that's okay. That was not something that I really knew beforehand, and I actually learned it from someone else's business. Is your employees are coming there to use you as a stepping stone, and you may not have that employee for the long term in your career. You might have them for a few months or a year or 2 years or 5 years, and then they go on to the next big thing, or they become another entrepreneur, or they get better, then maybe you're even doing your thing and they grow on and become bigger or whatever. That is totally fine. You are in this world to help people, literally. Whether or not you are a believer or not, that's on you. I'm not trying to push anybody into anything, but I'm a Christian, and I have a very, very strong and firm belief that God put every single one of us on this earth to do something for other people. We're here to make the world go round. We all, evolve and revolve around each other. And so I definitely believe that you're here to be used in a positive way, and you should allow yourself to be used. You should be okay with giving to other people and being, a part of other people's growth. No, you shouldn't let other people stunt your growth and let other people hurt you. But you, in your entire existence, it's about giving. Owning a business is about making money, and it's about giving to your employees and giving to your business and giving to the community. And so you need to be okay with the fact that People are going to come in, get the experience, and move on with their lives. Preferably your children do the same thing and don't end up sleeping on your couch until they're 60 years old. You want people to come into your life and grow and go on. That's what it's about, except for your spouse. You want them to grow with you and stay. But other than that, let's go on and get to tip number 6. You don't want to have too many side gigs. I know I really kind of slightly touched on this before. I think I did. But you definitely don't want to be doing too many things at one time. You want to have a career, a business. You don't want to have a bunch of hobbies that you're getting paid a little bit of money for, because ultimately you're not going to have enough time to market all of those correctly, to talk to people about all of those correctly. And I would hate for you to go to a networking event and say, here's a business card with 7 different things that I do. There you go. They're not going to choose you for any of them. Instead, they're going to find someone who really knows that topic and who they can really trust to know that certain something. And if you're doing a bunch of everything, they can't trust that you really know much about any of those things. And people are not just going to take a chance just because. Or you'll always end up being the cheap person that they go to instead of people actually wanting to throw their money at you. Tip 7, think big and don't limit yourself to just making it. This is really a piggyback off the last one. Do not limit yourself to just making it. Ultimately, when you're just making it, your business literally flatlines. It just stays at the same pace consistently. You never want to be in the position where your business is not growing, because whoever is your competition, trust and believe they are looking for the next big thing and they will find it. And so if you're not really putting the energy into your business because you have too many other things going on, you might as well just not do it, or just keep it as a side gig and don't really worry about the hustle of making a lot more money. And be okay with the fact that eventually that business is going to wither out and wither away and just die. All right, tip number 8. Think, what would it be like if I did this? Or if I did that? Before I was an entrepreneur, I didn't really think of all of the possibilities of where I could take my businesses, I didn't think, what if I tried this? Or what if I tried that? Actually, you know what? Let me take back that lie. The first time that I decided to be an entrepreneur, I tried every single thing that I love. And we're going to talk about that in a whole different video. But I tried every single thing that I love. However, within those things that I loved, since I was doing all of them at one time, I didn't choose one and say, how could I expand this particular thing? Let me see if I could do this within this business or that within this business. I was trying so many different types of things and at one time, just all over the place, y'all. I was a hot mess. I was trying so many different things at one time that I really didn't get to expound on one thing. So this tip is saying, think big within that one thing. If you were a makeup artist, what would it look like if you tried to do this certain type of makeup artistry? What does that look like? And within doing that certain type of makeup artistry, what would it look like if you marketed it this way and start a huge marketing campaign and really go about it? Think really, really big. What is the biggest possible way that you can do any of those, and how do you get to that big thing? And tip 9, start simple, but do not start small. This is really a piggyback off of the last 2 tips. You don't have to start something really small in order to let it begin, right? I know someone who opened up a gym who had never had his own business before, ever, but he opened up a gym. That started big, but he started simple. The gym was focused on doing this one type of thing, and they focused on that one type of, workout and exercise and concept and brand, and his gym is blowing up. It's been open only for a short amount of time, and the gym is blowing up. And it's because he thought big and started simple, but he didn't necessarily start small. He didn't start with, just working out of his garage somewhere. He was a personal trainer prior to that, a certified personal trainer for another gym. But when that gym closed, he didn't say, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to now just work out of my garage. He figured out a way to actually own a real, genuine, legit business in an actual brick and mortar building. And pushed himself, to hire employees and to get the clients and things, and he went for it. Go for it completely. Like, really throw yourself out there and go for it and take the risk to be able to do it. And once you actually take the risk and you put that energy and that investment and that time into yourself and your business, I promise you, other people will see it and they will follow you. If you know your vision, they'll follow you too. So those are my 9 tips actually those are tips, but those are lessons, my 9 lessons that I learned, and tips on how to handle those lessons from when I started becoming an entrepreneur. So I really hope that you guys can take these tips and you can take these lessons and really push yourself to not allow those things to become insecurities within your business, but to use those things to thrive. You don't have to start simple. You don't have to start small. You can start simple. You don't have to rely on your family and friends to believe in you. You can do it all on your own. You're totally capable. So definitely share, like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next video. Ciao.